I like to tell people that selecting an architect is sort of like going to a tour guide. You don't want to go to a tour guide and tell them where you want to go, what restaurant you want to eat at, and what shows you want to see. You want to give them a little bit of an idea of what you want and have them come back to you with an exceptional destination with incredible restaurants and great shows for you to take in. And that's what we do. We're going to show you incredible options for you to choose what's going to be best for you. Leading up to your first meeting with an architect, you've probably done a couple of things, namely Googling what you should do. Beyond that list, you probably have a general familiarity with their work, some of the projects that they've worked on, and their experience. And I joke with one of my clients because I interviewed with him and he said to me, I love everything that you do, but you're interviewing with a bunch of guys with white hair. At the time, I was only 30. I had very few projects to share. And I said to him, well, what do you think? Do you want to do projects that they have done and their experience, or you want a fresher experience? And I joke with him because we did build a beautiful house together. He lives in it, but I harken back to what type of experience are you looking for from your architect? Are they doing something classical, something they've done before? Or is it a mixture with a modern twist? That's an important thing you're going to want to know about your architect. A common question I get from people is, when can you start? And it's an important one. But a better question is, when can you complete the job? An architect and their bandwidth for completing the work is a really important question. You want to select somebody that you could rely on to start and complete your project in a timely fashion. That leads me to my next point, which is, are you selecting a single architect or are you looking to design a firm? Each person is looking for a different experience, and choosing the one for you is important. When you hire a firm like ours, which has multiple architects in it, not only are you getting the benefit of practical experience across many disciplines, you're also getting a firm that probably has people in the office that specialize in certain aspects. For instance, we have architects in our office that works exclusively on zoning conditions, on construction drawings. And what they do is, rather than follow the project from the beginning to end, they facilitate the project designer from the beginning to the end. Evaluating an architect's portfolio is really important, but I would say the most important thing that you want them to do is to be able to prove that they are good listeners. At the end of the day, you're not hiring an architect to design the house for you. You should be hiring an architect that can design the house with you. When selecting an architect or an architecture firm, you're not really selecting the architect, you're selecting the values of that architect. And everyone's values are a little different. I recommend architects that value and excel at communication. You'll discover very early on that the design process is all communication. You're communicating your needs to your architect. They're going to communicate their way of understanding your needs in the form of drawings. Those drawings are going to communicate directions to builders, to inspectors, and to subcontractors to execute the work. Another value is renderings. When we do renderings for our projects, we're not doing it to show off or show how we use our computer. We're using those renderings to design a project better than we could have without that benefit. And then we're using those renderings to show you, before the project's complete, what it will look like when it's done. It's like a time machine. We want you to see exactly where you're going to be a year or so from that day. Taking for granted that you found an architect that meets your criteria as a designer, has core competencies, can communicate, you might be surprised to find that I think the best quality that you need from your architect is patience. Let's face it, most people do not like making decisions. And the design process is all about making decisions. From day one to the very last day that you move into your house, it's going to be decision after decision after decision. And what you want is not a person that's going to rush you, hang over your head with design revision fees. You want somebody that's going to be your partner in creating the very best home for you.